Have you ever spent 10 minutes practicing how to say something before a phone call just because you were scared of how your accent would sound? I have, and I know so many of my students have too. We obsess over our accents, we apologize for them, we avoid situations where we have to speak just because we're worried about how we sound. But here's the question nobody really asks. Does your accent actually matter? Welcome to Couch Potato Talk. I'm Connie, the founder of Couch Potato Education, an English education center based in Hong Kong. And today I have a very special guest, Joan, a native English teacher from the UK who has spent years teaching learners from all over the world. And today she's going to give us her honest answer. Joan, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, Connie. It's really happy to be here today.
Yeah, Joan, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners?
Okay, yeah, no problem. Well, my name's Joan, as you already know, and I'm originally from London in the United Kingdom. And I've been teaching English now for more than 15 years, much more. And I've taught students from completely different backgrounds. I've taught in Spain, I've done a little bit of teaching in the US, and I've been teaching in the UK.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I think now we will just start with the first question. So, as a native English speaker from the UK, are you even aware that you have an accent?
Absolutely no. No, not at all. To be perfectly honest with you, I've never even thought about having an accent. It's only when I go on holiday or if I go somewhere and somebody says to me, "Wow, I love your accent." And I think, really? Have I got an accent? So it's not really something that I notice. I think it's just something that you're not aware of.
Yeah, I think most people may not, like native speaker may not aware that they have an accent. But do you think most people realize that everyone, including native speakers, has an accent?
I don't think that we actually think that we have an accent. I think subconsciously we just think it's normal. We just think it's how we speak. And I think, to be honest, if you live abroad, like I did in Spain, or if you are traveling a lot, that's when you notice that your voice is different to somebody else. When you're in the shop, or if you're in the supermarket, or if you're actually having a conversation with somebody in that country, that's when you realise that you have an accent.
Yeah, and I think actually every single person has an accent. And even within the UK, like the people from London, they can sound completely different from people from Manchester or Glasgow. So I think the idea of a neutral accent is a myth.
Absolutely.
Joan, what's the most interesting or unexpected accent you've ever come across in your teaching experience?
Oh, I could name many, to be perfectly honest with you. I used to work in a Spanish school, and one of the students that I was teaching English to was actually speaking English in an American accent, even though he was Spanish. He had this drawl to his language, the way he was speaking. And even though he was Spanish, the way that he pronounced his words came across as an American accent. They seemed to pick up the Spanish accent with the English accent, and together it became an American accent. And also the other one as well is I used to have a really good friend that was Scottish, and she was a black girl. And when she started speaking, when I first met her, it was like, oh, she's Scottish. It's not something you would expect. So there's quite a few stories.
Yeah. And I think that there's an assumption that native speakers are always correct and anyone else has an accent. And that actually creates an anxiety because like learners are chasing the target that doesn't exist.
Yes, I agree.
And when you hear someone speaking English with a strong foreign accent, what goes through your mind?
To be honest, it just goes that, to me, it makes me feel that they're trying to learn another language and they're trying their best. The accent doesn't really matter. To me, an accent is just your personality and where you come from. It doesn't matter that you have an accent. Accents aren't important. It's how you pronounce your words. It's how you communicate, which is important.
Is there a difference between an accent that's charming and one that becomes a real barrier to communication?
I don't think so. I think pronunciation is key. When you're speaking, it's very easy to make a mistake. But trying to be confident when you're speaking. Confidence is key. Knowing what you're saying, understanding what you're saying. And if you don't understand, then to say, I don't understand. Because people realise that you're not native to the country that you're speaking the language. So therefore they expect maybe you to make a mistake. But they're not going to laugh at you. They're not going to make you feel uncomfortable. You're trying your best, and that's what's important.
Yeah, I think that's the most important point. The main point is if we can understand each other, and it's not like how you sound and your accent. But have you ever struggled to understand a non-native speaker, and what was it that made it so difficult?
Yes, I have. And the reason is because they talk too fast. They try to get too many words into a conversation that maybe are not necessary. They're trying to be too correct. And sometimes that's not what's important. Sometimes it's easier to slow the conversation down. Speak in sentences and take your time. People are patient. They will wait for you to finish your conversation.
Yeah, I think what creates communication breakdown is usually not an accent itself, is clarity, rhythm, or word stress, but those are something learnable. And I think people just need to be confident with themselves.
So I do believe that using syllables when you're speaking and speaking slowly, things like apple, if you say apple, you're emphasizing certain letters in the word, and that makes you have a better understanding, firstly, of the word, and secondly, of how it's pronounced. And also, I think as well that when you look at English in general, it's got a rhythm to it. It has a rhythm. When you're speaking, there's certain words that you emphasize, like if you say, how are you? How are you? You're actually emphasizing certain words, and that's what's important.
Do you think word stress are also important? So like the word stress for each vocabulary and also the sentence, like stress in the sentence, are they also important?
Yes, I think they are. I think when you're learning English, it's important that you have a lot of conversations with an English-speaking person, purely because you can understand the way that they speak, how they emphasize certain words. English isn't a straight line. It goes up and down. It's got a real good rhythm to it. And I think once you get that rhythm and you understand syllables, then your pronunciation isn't really going to be an issue at all.
Yeah, I think rhythm is the key. And English is stress time, but like for example Cantonese is syllable time, so like every syllable equal weight. So when Hong Kong speakers bring equal rhythm into English, so it actually disrupts the ability to follow. I think in Hong Kong specifically, English is tied to social status, education, career, so that may make people think like every mistake feel much bigger than it is. So that's why they care about their accents and care about anything when they are speaking English.
I fully understand, and I completely get that feeling. But you've also got to remember that by making mistakes, you learn. And nobody can learn unless you make a mistake. So it's important to make mistakes to know that you are actually not doing it correctly.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. So I think for many learners, the biggest problem isn't about accent or grammar or anything. It's about how they try to speak and also try to make mistakes when they are learning. So where do you think accent anxiety comes from? And is it ever actually justified?
I think anxiety and stress comes from trying to learn too much too quickly. Learning another language is quite a slow process. You can't expect to have one lesson and be fluent. It takes time. And I also think as well that it's important to learn certain aspects over a certain period of time. English isn't the easiest language in the world to learn. It has so many different sides to it, structuring. It has different types of sounds. We have different types of syllables. We have different levels of speaking. I think it's important that whatever the learner's doing is that they understand they're not going to learn it straight away, and it will take time.
Yeah, I think that's true. Like everything takes time, and every time when you learn a new skill or a new language, it takes time as well. What's the difference between someone with a strong accent who sounds completely fluent versus someone with a very neutral accent who still sounds natural?
Fluency is about flow and confidence, not accent. Okay, so someone with a strong accent who speaks with a natural rhythm, pausing in the right places, with intonations, they always sound fluent. So it's important that if you have a choppy rhythm, you stop when you shouldn't stop, you answer questions incorrectly by giving the answer with a question, then that's when people think that you are not really understanding it correctly, understanding the language correctly.
Yeah. How much of sounding natural is about language and how much is personality and confidence?
Oh, personality and confidence is important. It is really important. But saying that, it's important to make sure that when you're speaking and you're having a conversation with somebody, that you are having a conversation where you're stopping and starting as necessary. I noticed that when I used to do some examining for the Cambridge exam, which was an exam that they use in the UK for English as a foreign language, and an example of that was people would stop to think about their answer, which you have to do because your brain is taking in two different languages or more. And the worst thing that you can do if an examiner asks you a question when you're doing a speaking exam is to say something like, what's the question? How do I answer? But you're not actually, you're giving time for your brain to think, but you shouldn't be answering with a question. You know, like if I say to you, so tell me something about you, and then you say to me, you want me to tell me something about me, that's not giving the right answer because you're automatically giving the examiner an excuse to not really, to make you realise that you're not understanding the question.
So I think the key is, once again, the rhythm and also not to neutralise your accent. It's just develop fluency.
No, don't change your accent. You shouldn't change your accent. It's who you are as a person. Just work on your English language, work on your skills, work on your rhythm, work on speaking slowly. I don't want to lose my accent because I think it's important to be who you are. Just improve your skills to make your accent maybe not as much as it should be, not as strong maybe as it should be, but don't ever change who you are as a person. That's not what you should be doing when you're learning a language.
What's the one thing learners should focus on that would make the biggest difference to how they come across?
There's not actually one single thing that you should focus on, to be perfectly honest with you. Word stress is really, really important. Making sure that your words are said in the correct way. Intonations, connected speech, speaking simple sentences, that's really important. Being understood more by being in simple sentences. Slowly, speaking slowly, that's something else that's, to me, is important when I'm speaking to somebody with an accent. And recording yourself. I used to record myself when I was learning Spanish because to me, listening back to how you sound, you would know if you're speaking correctly or not, or if you sound like you're speaking correctly.
I think these are all very practical tips for learning a language. So is there such a thing as good enough English? And how do you know when you've reached it?
Good enough English is when you can have a conversation with somebody. And it's not really too much of an effort. That to me is when you're good enough. You don't have to be able to use loads of vocabulary or even necessarily the correct tenses. Just being able to say to somebody, shall we go and have dinner? What would you like to eat? That to me is good enough.
Yeah, and I think good enough is actually different for everyone depending on their goal. Like for some people, they may just want to travel like comfortably with using the language, or sometimes for some students they may want to achieve an IELTS band 7 or above. So it's different for everyone. It depends on their goal.
Yeah, if you're just using it for travelling, then as long as you know the basics and you can get yourself from A to B and you can order food and you can have a conversation with somebody about the weather, that's fine. Obviously, if you're going to do it for a job, then it is slightly different, for work purposes, or if you're going to have meetings and things like that, then it needs to be a bit more advanced. But it depends, as you say, on the individual person and what their reason is to learn a new language.
So before we wrap up, I want to tell you about two things. First, Joan and I have been working on something together, and today's conversation is a preview of what's inside. We are co-creating an IELTS speaking course designed specifically for Asian learners. It's not open yet, but we do have a waiting list. Join and you will be the first to know when we launch. Get early bird access and exclusive perks that won't be available to the public. The link is in the description. Free to join and takes less than 1 minute. Second, we also have a British English IPA pronunciation course, which is available for pre-order right now on the website. If you've ever wanted to work on your sounds properly from the very beginning, this is exactly where to start. And if you'd like to book lessons with Joan directly, you can also find that on our website and message us. So, Joan, do you have any final words for our listeners?
Yeah, honestly, based on what we've been talking about today, if accent and speaking confidence is something that you've been putting off working on, this course is going to be for you. It's going to be a real eye-opener. I can't wait for people to see what Connie and I have put together. It's amazing.
That is a perfect note to end on. Joan, thank you so much for being so honest and generous today. And this has been such a refreshing conversation.
Thank you for having me. It's been amazing.
And to everyone listening, if this episode made you think differently about your own voice, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. See you next time on Couch Potato Talk. Bye.
Bye.